Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So this is going to be my Star Wars Q&A. Thank you everybody that submitted questions on my trailer video. Hopefully you were able to stop crying long enough to go to school this morning or go to work, but let's get going. So first question, Squeaker Kid asks, why did the TIE fighters shoot green lasers and the Rebels shoot red lasers? I'm so confused. That's actually exactly why they tune things to certain colors on screen, so that it's really easy to understand just from a visual perspective, who is fighting who. Or even if it's not a battle scene, different groups of characters have different color schemes with their costumes. Like the Resistance characters, they dress a certain way, they have a certain color palette. The Imperial characters, or I should say the First Order characters, they have their own color palette too. So say you were deaf, or you were taking a deaf person to the movie and they couldn't hear what the characters were saying, they'd be able to look at the screen and know who is who. So the TIE fighters shoot green lasers so that it's easy, when there's a lot of action on screen and things are moving really fast, you'll be able to tell who is firing on who, and because they've always been green. So it's kind of a double answer. Next question, Pamino asks, do you think that Han or someone from the original trilogy will die in these movies? I have a bad feeling on Han Solo. Well, he is definitely like a high likelihood of Han Solo, but this Daisy Ridley picture here, I'll just put it up right now. There's a lot of people who think that she is crying over Chewbacca. I guess, just thinking that this might be fur down here. Now, just because she's crying doesn't mean a character has died, but she seems really upset in this movie, so very clearly somebody close to her is probably going to die. The thing is we really don't know what her relationship is relative to the other characters when the movie picks up. Presumably, this will be about the new characters coming together, Poe Dameron, Finn, and Rey, and then intersecting with the original trilogy characters. So by like the third act of the film, she will probably be firmly on Team Resistance. The thing about killing original trilogy characters is that it has to feel natural to the plot, like it can't be gimmicky, and it has to be someone that will make you crap your pants, but won't make you quit the movie. They're not trying to intentionally harm the audience. So you have to ask yourself, on the list of characters that it's most unforgivable to kill, who is like the lowest on that totem pole? Now they killed Chewbacca in the books a long time ago. They've already kind of retconned that out with episode 7. Like they've already changed the expanded universe because of that. So if the fandom had already processed Chewbacca's death and made their peace with it, then I think he would probably be the most okay of characters that it is not okay to kill. I mean, it's still not okay to kill characters that you love, but if they don't kill anybody, then the Resistance starts to feel invincible. So, killing a beloved character is one way to let you know that there is a threat. Next question, Ignacio asks, do you think that Kylo Ren might be Luke's kid? If not, why the obsession with Darth Vader? How is he Force sensitive? Well, I mean, this is all about the Force awakening. The Force is this mysterious, intelligent, alive thing, so naturally it's going to pop up in unexpected places. I should actually say this right now. What I'm really hoping is they don't over-explain the Force. We don't need to know exactly how the Force works. Part of its magic is in its mystery. That's why a lot of people got really upset with the idea of midichlorians. They're like, oh, you mean the Force isn't like this mysterious Zen thing? It's like a biological thing you're just born with? So yes, there is like a genetic hereditary aspect to the Force. And yes, I definitely think that Kylo Ren's tied to the original trilogy characters in a familiar way. I don't want to, try to get into too many spoilers. It's all really rumors at this point. But no, I do not think he is Luke Skywalker's son. I don't expect Luke Skywalker to have any children in the movie. I think he'll be more of an Obi-Wan character. Although depending on what material you're looking at, Obi-Wan also had a child himself too, or at least a relationship with someone. Just trying to base a lot of your theory crafting on established canon. Typically actual stories, in all movies and TV, tend to be a lot simpler than what fan theories make them out to be. So just make your theories as simple as possible based on the material we've seen and what we know about the original trilogy characters. Like Luke Skywalker probably kind of went off into the wilderness to study the Force by himself, so he probably didn't have a lot of time to have children. If anyone in the series is going to be having children, it's going to be Han and Leia. And I don't think they're doing Jason and Jaina, but I do think that some of these characters, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious when you look at the poster here, but I think their children will be a big part of the movie. Next question, Megan Honor asks, I've never seen a Star Wars film, but I'm planning on catching up with the film series until the new movies come out. In what order do I have to see them? Not interested in Elseworld stories, just the basic storyline. So you're just talking about the main films. Well, there's two different ways to watch it. You could do it episode 1 to 6, and that story really becomes like the fall and redemption of Vader. Or you could watch the original trilogy first, and then go back and watch the prequels. And that makes the story a little bit more about Luke. So really, it just depends on which character you think is the main protagonist of the series. Is Star Wars a story all about Darth Vader, or is it a story about Luke Skywalker redeeming his father? It just changes the narrative a little bit depending on which order you watch the movies in. So it depends on who your favorite character is. Like if your favorite character is Luke, then watch the original trilogy first, then watch the prequels. But if you're a hardcore Darth Vader fan, then just watch it episode 1 to episode 6. You also have to remember that Clone Wars, the animated movie that came before the TV series, is also canon too. So you could add that movie into. Technically, there's 7 films. Next question, Mofo asks, who will be the new bounty hunters or hunters? There's definitely going to be new bounty hunters. If you remember all those scenes with Darth Vader talking to bounty hunters, with bounty hunter droids, non-human bounty hunters, there are going to be all kinds of those in the new movie. They haven't revealed who any of them are going to be yet, but I'm actually really excited to see new bounty hunter droids. Like there's actually a bounty hunter battle droid in the novels right now. But if you're a big Old Republic fan, then you're looking for hunter-killer droids to show up. All that stuff is going to be in there. Yes, lots of bounty hunters employed by the First Order, just the same way Darth Vader employed bounty hunters. Kylo Ren has this vision quest to complete Vader's mission, so he needs to track a lot of stuff down. And if he's obsessed with Darth Vader, it makes sense that he would try to track down those original trilogy characters to kill the last of the Jedi and get Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber. Next question, Lou Rick asks, another lightsaber question. Do you think that they're setting Rey up to have a dual-bladed lightsaber? It'd be nice to see one again. Based on what they've said about the movie, it sounds like there aren't going to be Jedi all over the place wielding lightsabers. As in, finding Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber is a huge deal. They become incredibly rare. I do think that Rey is totally Force sensitive and she will become a Jedi during this new trilogy. Kathleen Kennedy wouldn't harp on the role of women in Star Wars if she weren't going to let one of them become a Jedi in the movie. It'd be completely disingenuous. But I think her path is going to be similar to Luke Skywalker's path in the original trilogy. He kind of got the handicap because they gave him his father's lightsaber when he first started out, but eventually he constructed his own lightsaber. So what I'd like to see is Rey not start out with a lightsaber and construct her own over the course of the new trilogy. And just double bonus if it happens to be a double-bladed lightsaber. But even if she doesn't fight with a lightsaber in the first movie, you have to remember that you can use the Force to strengthen normal melee objects. So she can still use her staff like a non-lethal version of a lightsaber. Just whack the shit out of people. Next question, Jack asks, C-3PO isn't in any of the footage, I wonder why. Well, I think there are a couple reasons. One, because they mostly want to focus on the new characters, that's why there's so little of the original cast. And two, because he actually looks a little bit different. He has some red coloring on one of his arms. I think that they're just trying not to give away what has happened to C-3PO since the last trilogy. He's a droid, they can keep repairing him, so obviously he and R2 are still around. And whatever happened to C-3PO might end up being spoilery too, so they're holding back on that. Next question, Sam asks, what do you think that Leia's upset about? Does this mean Luke is dead? Well, no, it doesn't mean that Luke is dead. It just means she's really upset about what's been happening. It looks like the Resistance gets its ass handed to it. If you remember the way Empire Strikes Back ended, just with the rebels and all the main characters getting the shit kicked out of them by the Empire and Darth Vader, I think that's why she's sad. A bunch of people probably dying. She has the weight of the Resistance on her shoulders, and also throwing some theory crafting on there. Possibly some of her children are main characters and are doing things that are making her very upset. Nobody can hurt you like family members can. Next question, Alec asks, do you think that Finn is going to get trained by Luke? Well, supposedly Luke is going to be a bigger thing during episode 8, so I think that there'll be a lot of Jedi training in that movie. Like episode 7 is all about discovery, getting the lightsaber. Episode 8 will be pushing deeper into that. Just to go back to Empire Strikes Back, Luke, you have to go to the Dagobah system to learn from Yoda. There'll probably be a similar arc at some point in the new trilogy, so they might put that off to episode 8. So regardless of other rumors about Luke, I do think that he'll be a conduit for the new characters learning more about the Force, but he won't be the only person. The person talking in the trailer to Daisy Ridley saying, the Force is calling to you, let it in, I think that's Lupita's character. The new characters will learn about the Force, the dark side, piecemeal from all kinds of different sources until eventually, like episode 8 or episode 9, they go to the source. They go to Luke, who can explain everything in great detail. Next question, Jonathan asks, how about at 104, do you think that that's the new Death Star showing off its firepower? Also, have you seen Inside Llewyn Davis, Adam Driver, Oscar Isaac, and Justin Timberlake sing a song about outer space? Pretty awesome in retrospect. Yeah, that's totally a coincidence. People don't plan things out like that, the way they cast movies. I definitely think that that is the Starkiller base in a moment similar to when Princess Leia watched Alderaan be destroyed. Thematically, a lot of moments in the new films will harken back to moments in the original trilogy. They're mixing and matching a lot of characters. But you also have to remember that trailers are cut a little misleading. So the scene with Kylo Ren and Poe Dameron might not come right before this weapon looks like it's getting tested. This could be completely unrelated. But I mean, they have a super weapon. They're probably going to destroy a planet, test it out, and make one of the good characters watch. Like, look at what this can do. There's no hope for you. Give up now. Thank you so much, though, for submitting questions. This is going to be so much fun. I'll probably start doing a lot more Star Wars in November. I don't know how many more clips and trailers we're going to get, but we probably will see some new stuff. They're doing some new weird things trying to market the film, so a lot of the new information we get actually comes from like toy releases or video games. There'll be some Battlefront stuff happening really soon, too. But congratulations to my Star Wars giveaway winner, Shahel Hussein. You win 2 IMAX passes for Star Wars in December. So be sure to private message me on the back end of my channel and we can work out the details so I can find a way to get this stuff to you. What I'm going to do, I think, for my next couple Star Wars giveaways, like whenever I do Star Wars videos, is I'll just do ticket giveaways, just because it seems like it's really hard for people to get tickets. And don't worry, there are actually still a lot of tickets available online, so you should be able to get one no problem. Worst case scenario, you can't see it on Thursday night, you have to wait till Friday to see it. What's going to happen next is there's a new episode of The Flash tonight. I'm going to post my video for it after that airs. I'll have a new round of the reverse Flash ring giveaway, so just look out for that. If you guys aren't watching The Flash, it is freaking awesome this year. And I am going to do a Gotham video too. It'll just post a little bit later in the week. So as I post new videos, I'll just provide updates on videos that I've rescheduled. There's just so much Star Wars stuff at the beginning of the week, I just had to move some stuff around. While you guys wait for all that Flash stuff to post, you can click here for my episode 2 video to catch up on that, and you can click here for all my Star Wars footage, just, loop the trailer like a billion more times. It's okay to cry, totally okay. So thank you so much for watching. Everybody, let's cry and high five. I'll see you guys in a little bit.